Thank you for coming, Luke. Will you please take us to your second victory of the tournament?
Okay, yes, today I was playing with white with Wang Hao, and I actually didn't know what to expect. He was playing Boga Indian against Lamy, and sometimes he's playing Slav, and today he intended to play Grunfeld, but I decided to avoid it. So d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight f3, bishop g7, and g3. Okay, now we can go for some setup with a castle, bishop g2. Okay, of course now he can play c6, d5 or d5 right away, but
You had that against Kamsky, I believe, no?
Yeah, Kamsky played c6 and d5, yeah. And actually I had some experience there from both sides, so maybe it was going to help me, but I was not sure that it's anything at all after c6, d5, but okay. Anyway, he played d6, castles, and now he played c6, and actually I was kind of prepared for this move, knight c6, which he usually plays.
So you hadn't looked at c6 in your preparation?
And also, well, I was not really aware of the details in this line of c6. But okay, I decided to play some natural moves, knight c3. He made this move bishop f5, and here I was basically on my own. And I was also considering knight h4. I didn't know how to evaluate this, and then here bishop e6 maybe, d5, and bishop goes back. Or maybe takes first. And actually I didn't like this type of position, especially this knight on h4. So okay, I decided to play knight e1.
This is the main move.
This is the main move, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I was not really sure about this position. Okay, I was a little bit puzzled. For example, what was going to happen after a move like d5. But okay, just some kind of. If you're not really sure about what you're doing, then you start to think about these kind of moves, and I was not sure maybe how to
you
react.
Can take and force queen b3 and force e6 or something?
With queen b3, then maybe I was thinking maybe he's going to play knight c6.
And then e3?
e3, then he can, for example, he can already play knight a5. So that's not going to work. I was thinking maybe to play queen b3 here right away. Then he cannot play knight c6. Maybe it was not so bad. Anyway, he played queen c8. Actually, the move I was happy to see. e4, bishop h3. And here I was thinking for a while if I should take on h3 or not. Because the question is if the queen is going to be useful on h3 or not. But I decided that I had some game recently against Sipke Ernst, where his queen on h3 was pretty useful, and I didn't want to have another deja vu, so I decided, okay, not to
challenge luck, huh?
Yeah. There also were some more rational reasons why I didn't really go for that, because there was some tactical stuff, like for example, if I take queen takes, for example, if I would go something like f3, and for example I was not even sure how to react after c5, d5, and maybe, I don't know if it works, but maybe he has something like whatever, knight g4 and okay.
Look at the bottom, the second one. One to the left. Down, I think,
Yeah. So I was not sure what was going to happen here. So after some thinking, I decided not to bother and to play knight d3. He takes on g2, king takes g2. Yes, and now I think I'm about to get some favorable King's Indian position. And actually this is the moment, if he wants to do something, he can do it now, because otherwise I play f3 and I consolidate. So he decided to play e5. d5 is forced if I want to do something, and b5.
But you think about this pawn sacrifice? Were you happy to see it?
Well, I prefer to have a position just with a slight edge, but on the other hand, if you can just grab a pawn, it's also not so bad, and if you can consolidate. And I think it was maybe a bit optimistic. Takes, and yes, maybe he had to try to play a6 or something like that, and then to get some kind of compensation,
like a Bangkok compensation.
Yes, although it's a bit strange. The bishop on g7 is not what it's like in the Bangkok, but okay, you have a pawn e5 and you can play f5, and okay, you just have to regroup. But okay, I must say white is also quite comfortable, but like in the game, queen c4, I managed to prove that okay, that he is knight takes d5 is not a threat yet, because knight takes e5. So rook e1, actually a good move, because actually I want to play here bishop g5, but then he has knight e4, and then my knight on c3 is going to be exchanged, and this knight is actually holding my position together. So that's why first I had to play rook e1. And he was afraid of this move bishop g5, so I played h6, and now I have this. Okay, if I play, for example, a3, he's playing a6, because a3 I'm threatening to play knight b4. But okay, he will play a6 and takes with the knight. So a4 is good, because if he plays now the same, I just take, knight takes, and I just go a5, and the next rook a4, kicking him out. The same
as in the game.
As in the game. So knight d7, a5. Well, I think now I have big advantage, because my rook is going to a4 and kick him out.
So can he play knight c5 then?
Now?
Oh, after e4, knight f4.
Yeah, okay, knight f4. If he goes knight c5. Well, I don't know. I was intending to play bishop e3.
And then knight fd7.
Like this, yeah. Oh, maybe that's not so stupid, yeah.
There's a line where you can take on c5, knight takes c5, knight e4.
Yes, and
rook a4.
But it looks fine for black, no?
No, I'm not sure. If queen b5, rook e takes e4, and you might be able to get into the 7th rank. And
yeah, of course, I have some play here still. And my rook gets to b7, yes, and my king is safe, and bishop on g7 is not doing much. Yeah, but I must say that probably if he had seen this, then probably he would have played it.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't see it. I must say that. Now you're telling me this, it's quite annoying me.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's quite a revelation. But
let's go on with the game.
Yes. Knight f4, so g5. Yeah, just nice. Rook a4, queen c8, and now I just regroup. Knight c5. Okay, rook c4. d7, knight d4. Yeah, I think this move is going to be more useful h3, which I played in the game, or maybe rook e2, also prophylactic move.
Just to avoid knight d3 attacking your rook.
Yes, but okay, I guess at some point I have to cover this g4 square, but that's why I went h3, knight here, rook e2, knight e5, so I think my rook is better on b4 than on a4, but okay, he's going back and just repeating the moves once, knight f3 and knight c6, and he is here now, starts to look for some tricks, and for I was not sure what to do here, because for some time I was looking at move like bishop e3 and to take with bishop on a7, but I didn't want to be too greedy somehow. I think it felt like, okay, the bishop is maybe also not so bad on a7 because it's covering f2, but I decided speed was more important, and so that's why I played b6. Yeah, knight e5, b7.
At which moment did you think you had it in the bag, more or less?
Well, I had a feeling that it should be in the bag, but okay, he's going to play for some tricks, and there's still some little time trouble. So technically speaking, I was sure if I was going to play with an engine next to me that it would be in the bag.
Okay.
But so check here. Yeah, he was still managed to confuse me a little bit, because here I didn't know exactly how to continue, and then I found this move, which I think it's
just forcing mate, right?
Yes, make my life. Okay, I give this d5 pawn, but I think after my knight's on e3 and it's either going to jump to d5 or to f5, it's going to be too strong. Knight b6, rook a5, because I didn't want to go to a6 because there might be some knight coming to c5 with tempo at some point, and then b7 is going to be hanging as well. So that's why I went to a5. Rook knight e1, some trick here, and knight. Yeah, here I was also considering rook b5, but I thought I don't really need this. I think bishop d2 is strong enough. Knight e5, and I think this takes. I think basically he has no more moves. d6 is hanging, g7 is hanging, and e4 is hanging. So okay, and rook b8. Knight takes g7, and well, rook takes a5, tempo, and knight c4, bishop c3. And okay, just if king takes g7, bishop c3, rook takes, and rook b5, and
it's game over.
Game over, yes.
Okay. What do you think about your tournament so far?
Well, it's ups and downs. I'm going with black. I'm suffering, especially in the openings, and especially against. Also, I have most of the strong guys with black. So, guys like Aronian he's very dangerous with white, and so.
And tomorrow there's another one, I believe.
Tomorrow I play Anand with black, and I still have Kayakin with black. So it's still some black days in front of me. So.
Too early to say.
But okay, white at least is pleasant to play with white. But okay, but anyway, if you play, for example, white against Nakamura, anything can happen. So it's, I don't know what it's going to be, but okay, first I have to save my ass against Anand, because it's going to be. He seems to be in good shape here. So.
What do you prefer? 6 draws like last year, or like this year, a bit more up and down?
Okay, last year I think I had the feeling that I was playing better than now, but okay. But for it's nicer to win sometimes a game here and there. So after all last year, it was quite frustrating. I didn't win any game, especially that I agreed to draw with Ratjabov in winning position. So then it starts to hurt a bit. But well, in the end, you still have to look at your games if it were interesting games or not.
Okay. Any questions? No. Thank you.
Okay.